Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. How are ya? Hi. So, I'm gonna be going back to doing DBT once a month. Yay! Hopefully the second Monday of the month, I think, if this is the second Monday. Whatever. Once a month. And I'm gonna kind of backpedal and start from the beginning, start from the foundation of stuff and kind of go in a more make sensible order. I'm gonna follow the book, in other words, more closely, the DBT manual, instead of just picking random stuff. So, class, I'm going to start with today with not even DBT techniques yet, but just laying the groundwork for stuff. Starting with, why do I have so much trouble controlling my emotions and my actions in the first place? You know, obviously, if you are looking at DBT, then you probably have just a wee bit of trouble regulating your emotions and feelings and actions and whatever, which honestly could be said about every human being on the planet. But some of us more than others. So there's this thing called the Biosocial Theory, and basically it's saying that we are held accountable for our actions, of course. Can't just say, well, I was born this way, or I lived in this situation, so you can't arrest me, or I can't get in trouble for that. I can't be blamed for that. It doesn't mean you get a, get out of jail free card. But it may help sometimes to consider the fact that there might be other forces at work that put you in a vulnerable spot that may make you more vulnerable to making not the greatest of choices, or more vulnerable to being more emotional or whatever. It's not just you, it's not just in your head or whatever. There's factors that might make you more vulnerable to such things. So, starting with the biological, what I'm reading off of is literally the DBT skills training handouts and worksheets by Marcia and M. Linehan. That's what I'm reading from. So literally going by the book. I clarify things. I'm actually going through a DBT class myself right now. I already went through the whole class, obviously, at another time in my life a few years ago. But when my current clinic started offering DBT, I decided to do it again, because, well, why not? It's all good stuff, so it doesn't hurt. So, with biological vulnerability, emotional vulnerability is biological. It's simply how some people are born. They're more sensitive to emotional stimuli. They can detect subtle emotional information in the environment that others don't even notice. They experience emotions much more often than others. Their emotions seem to hit for no reason from out of the blue. They have more intense emotions. Their emotions hit like a ton of bricks. And their emotions are long-lasting. So, born this way, insert joke about Lady Gaga song here. Like, my mother has been diagnosed with bipolar, so just like literally like any other thing in your body, genetics, DNA, like I have brown eyes and both of my parents have brown eyes. So with both of my parents having brown eyes, there's a high likelihood that I was going to be born with brown eyes. My mom has been diagnosed with bipolar. So there's a high likelihood that I was going to be born with bipolar. And guess what? I was born with bipolar. I have been diagnosed with bipolar. Yay, genetics! It's not any fault of hers. It's not any fault of mine. It's literally in my genes. And you could bring like the zodiac into this. My sign is Cancer, and I'm a poster child for the Cancer water sign. I'm very emotional. I'm very like home and family oriented. But a big thing is emotional. That's like #1 trait for the crab sign, is that you're emotional. And that personality trait is just, that's how I was made. I'm a sensitive person, and that's not a flaw or a fault or anything. It's just a fact. Impulsivity also has a biological basis. Regulating action is harder for some than for others. They find it very hard to restrain impulsive behaviors. Often without thinking, they do things that get them in trouble. Sometimes their behavior seems to come out of nowhere. They find it very hard to be effective. Their moods get in the way of organizing to achieve their goals. They cannot control behaviors linked to their moods. So someone who is naturally impulsive, that's just part of who they are, is going to find it difficult to control their actions. And unfortunately, that often leads to having an addiction of some kind, which is also one of my many lovely traits. Ugh. Okay. And now we're going to talk about the social part. An invalidating social environment can make it very hard to regulate emotions. An invalidating environment doesn't seem to understand your emotions. It tells you your emotions are invalid, weird, wrong, or bad. It often ignores your emotional reactions and does nothing to help you. It may say things like, "Don't be such a baby," "Quit your blubbering," "Quit being such a chicken and just solve the problem," or "Normal people don't get this frustrated." Yeah, you ever heard that before from somebody? Of just get over it. You're overreacting. Why are you acting like that? But people who invalidate are often doing the best they can. Sometimes people don't understand. People don't know what's going on. People may have had an invalidating environment themselves as they were growing up, so they don't know how to act any better. They may not know how to validate or how important it is to validate, or they may be afraid that if they validate your emotions, you will get more emotional, not less. So like, someone may think that telling you, "Oh, it's okay, it's all right, you go ahead and cry if you need to," that might be the same thing as like telling them, that yes, you should be upset and feel worse, and you should be, whatever, that it's more helpful to say, "No, you shouldn't be feeling this bad. There's nothing to feel bad over." Instead of validating that You know, oh, okay, I understand that, you know, that really sucks and that you feel bad right now. You know, it's okay that you feel bad right now. Like, it's gonna get better and whatever. Validating of how they feel in that moment. They may be under high stress or time pressure, or they may have too few resources themselves. Single parent, or a parent with a kid that's acting out in public, or time pressure. I don't know. You're working with someone and they're getting frustrated with you because you have a time limit on something. There may be just a poor fit between you and your social environment. You may be a tulip in a rose garden. So you may be just an ugly duckling. So the example that my teacher gave with this is like a little kid. He has an ice cream cone and he just got it and he accidentally drops it on the ground and he starts bawling and crying and crying and crying. And his mom is like, oh, it's okay, just stop, like, we'll get you another ice cream cone. It's fine, why are you crying so much? Like, it's just ice cream, you know. Thinking that she's doing the right thing by saying, like, it's just ice cream, I'll get you another one, calm down, when that's ingraining into the child that, like, his feelings don't matter, that when he cries, it's a bad thing. That he needs to shove down his feelings and whatever, instead of going, oh, I know, like, right now that really, really sucks and you really badly wanted that ice cream, and just, oh gosh, yes, that's horrible, you know, you just got it and you dropped it, that's so sad, I'm so sorry, it's okay, like, we're gonna get you another one, it will be okay, you know, comforting them without trying to control them. An ineffective social environment is a big problem when you want to learn to regulate emotions and actions. Now this seems a little counterintuitive. It seems a little against the first one, but I'll explain. Your environment may reinforce out of control emotions and actions. If people give in when you get out of control, it will be hard for you to get in control. If others command you to change, but don't coach you on how to do this, it will be hard to keep you on trying to change. So that may be a little strange, like, wait, you just told me don't try to control something. Don't try to tell them what to do. There's a difference between emotions and actions. So, use a little kid again, then we'll use a more applicable thing since we're adults here. Or mostly adults, whatever. We're not 4 and 5-year-olds. Say a kid is having a temper tantrum, or even if the same ice cream kid starts throwing a temper tantrum, throws himself down on the ground and is screaming and is throwing his arms around and maybe tries to start like punching his mom, kicking his legs, is like just going out of control, critical, gonna blow, whatever I'm articulating today, is obviously out of control. Okay, those actions you don't want to validate. You don't want to say that those actions are okay, because those are obviously harmful actions. He could harm himself or others, and it's embarrassing for the mother because this kid is acting out. You need to validate that the child is obviously very much upset, but you need to try to get them to stop the out of control behavior. I'm not a child psychologist, so I don't know exactly what to suggest, but probably mostly try to remove the child from the situation, of at least try to scoop them up and at least move them away from the ice cream truck or whatever. Move him somewhere else so he can calm down, and tell him that he does need to stop thrashing, stop screaming, whatever. You know, once you're calm, then we can talk. So there's a difference, a difference there. Or for a more adult version, if someone is like, I have rage problems, I have anger problems, I do, but I've never hurt anyone. When I'm really upset, and lately I've been upset over everything, I take everything so frickin' seriously. Just the slightest thing lately has been sending me just off the wall. I can literally feel it bubbling up in me, and I have to try to stop myself. I have to try to excuse myself and back away from the situation before I do something I'm going to regret. The behavior is, you know, I don't want to lash out at someone. I don't want to break something. I don't want to hurt myself. That's bad behavior. But I need to validate that I'm upset, and I probably need to go talk to someone. Not the someone that I'm upset with, somebody else, a neutral party, you know, that's looking inward, whatever. If you have an adult on the same side, whatever, if that adult is super angry and is lashing out, or if, you know, God forbid, is drinking too much, you need to do your best to try to get them away from the alcohol. Safety, you know, make things safe. Don't validate the unsafe behavior, but validate that there's an emotion in there that is real and true and may seem like to you extreme and overreacting, but it's still a real emotion. Somewhere in there is a nugget of truth in there, of something real and personal and strong, and this person was hurt in some way, and you need to deal with that little nugget, but you need to make the rest of the chaos around it calm first and settled and safe before you can get to that nugget in there and then deal with that nugget. But you can't ignore the nugget just because all around it is chaos. Something that I forgot to touch on that they mentioned, if others command you to change but don't coach you on how to do this, it will be hard to keep on trying to change. So someone tells you, just get over it. I would love to. I would love to just get over it. But how? If you could tell me how, I will. Yeah, so both of, if you're the non-mental ill person and you're talking to someone like that, don't do that. That's a dick move anyways. But if you don't have any suggestions on what they can do or how you can help them, then you're not helping. For the mentally ill person, yeah, you know, don't be afraid to tell someone, like, you are not helping me when you say those things. If you have something specific to suggest that is actually helpful, then okay. Otherwise, stop telling me these things. Or don't be afraid to admit, like, I need help. I really do need help. I can't do this on my own. I want to change. I don't know how to change. I need help. It is a huge stigma that, okay, like, say someone is in a wheelchair, you wouldn't go to the person in a wheelchair and say, just stand up, you're being lazy. Or if someone has really bad arthritis and they're having a bad pain day, so they can't, you know, get up and walk very much, you wouldn't tell them, oh, just ignore the pain, just get up, you know, just ignore it. You wouldn't do that. Or at least a kind, normal human being wouldn't do that. But yet people will go to people who have a mental illness and say, you know, why are you overreacting? Why are you crying? What are you so depressed over? Like, you have nothing to be depressed about. Or, why are you so angry? You have nothing to be angry over. Like, just get over it. Just be happy. You know, be thankful that your situation is the way it is because people have it worse. All the other stuff. It's mental illness is the same thing as any of those other stuff. Like, we can't just ignore it. And we're gonna have days where it's like, we're gonna have bad days and we're gonna have good days. We're gonna have days where it's like, we can't handle anything. Don't even come near me. Just can't even today. You're gonna have days like that. But it is hard for people on the outside who aren't in here, and especially if they don't have any experience, it's hard for them to understand that. And I know, at least for myself, it's hard for me to remember that, to remind myself, like, I have an illness and it's in my brain. Actually, I have more than one. I have several diagnoses. One was just added recently. Yay, the list goes on. And I have migraines. Like, it's literally all the frick in here. So it can't just be dismissed. I can't just tell myself, like, oh, you're being stupid, you're overreacting, like, get over it. Like, just I get so pissed off with my own self. I get so frustrated and fed up and irritated with my own self, and I have to remember, like, whoa, stop it. You are just as sick as other sick people, as other disabled people. Give yourself a break. You know, just because you can't see it doesn't mean that it doesn't count. Okay, that was a really long rant and got off topic. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's see. I'm at 20 minutes or so now. I think I'll stop here. The next one is going to be about mindfulness. Yay. I was going to skip mindfulness entirely because for me it's mostly a bunch of bullshit, but there is some parts to it that do make sense, that do make sense as being a link in the chain for the other sections. So I think I do need to go over it a wee bit, but I'll save it for next time because it is a bit of a mind fuckery. Okay, I hope this made sense, and yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for listening. Love you. Bye. Mwah.